For thousands of years, desert nomads walked hundreds of miles in burning heat. They ate simple food. They had no hospitals, no medicine, no modern supplements, and yet they had almost zero gut disease, no bloating, no constant stomach pain, no inflammatory gut collapse. Modern scientists started asking one question: how? And after years of research, the answer came down to one single fermented drink. A drink so simple, so ancient, that most people today have never even heard of it. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what it was, why it worked, and why your gut may be struggling today. Because this drink disappeared from modern life. Stay with me, because this story goes back thousands of years. Who were these nomads? Picture this: a vast open desert, no roads, no cities, no supermarkets, just sand, wind, and the burning sun. This was the daily world of ancient nomads. They were desert people. They moved constantly, following water, following grass, following survival. These were not weak people. These were some of the toughest humans who ever lived. They crossed deserts that would kill a modern person in days. They carried everything they owned on their backs and on their animals, and they did this for generations, for thousands of years. Now here is what is remarkable. These people, living in some of the most extreme conditions on Earth, had almost no gut disease. Ancient records show very little mention of digestive sickness among desert nomad communities. No chronic bloating, no widespread gut inflammation, no mass digestive collapse. For a group of people eating simple, often limited food, this is extraordinary. So what was protecting them? The answer begins with one animal: the camel. The camel and the nomad. For desert nomads, the camel was everything. It was transport, it was food, it was survival. And the camel gave something else: milk. Camel milk was one of the primary foods of nomadic life. But here is what most people do not know. Nomads did not always drink this milk fresh. In the desert heat, fresh milk spoiled quickly. There was no refrigeration. There was no way to keep milk cold. So nature did something interesting. When camel milk was stored, especially in animal skin bags, it did not just spoil and go bad. It fermented. Natural bacteria already living inside the milk began to multiply. The milk became sour. It became thick. It became alive with billions of tiny living organisms. And the nomads, rather than throwing it away, drank it, not because they had no choice, but because they learned, over generations, that this fermented drink made them stronger. It kept their stomachs healthy. It protected them from desert sickness. This fermented camel milk drink had a name. In Arabic it is called Gariss, and in some regions a similar version was called Suusac. These were not fancy drinks. They were not made in laboratories. They were made in animal skin bags, hanging from camel saddles, gently shaken by the movement of the desert journey. Every step the camel took naturally stirred the fermenting milk inside. By the time the nomads stopped to rest, the drink was ready. Simple, ancient, powerful. What is inside this drink now? Let us talk about what this drink actually contains, because this is where modern science gets very interested. When camel milk ferments, something remarkable happens inside it. First, the natural sugars in the milk begin to break down. The bacteria eat the lactose, the natural milk sugar, and convert it into lactic acid. This lactic acid is what makes the drink sour, but it also does something important. It creates an acidic environment inside the drink, and that acidic environment is hostile to harmful bacteria. This means when a nomad drank this fermented drink, they were sending billions of protective bacteria directly into their gut. These bacteria are called lactobacillus. Today, scientists consider lactobacillus one of the most important beneficial bacteria for human gut health. It lines the intestinal wall. It fights harmful pathogens. It reduces inflammation inside the gut. It helps the body absorb nutrients properly, and the nomads were getting massive amounts of it every single day, naturally, from this one simple drink. But that is not all. Camel milk itself, even before fermentation, is already extraordinary. It contains proteins that are very different from cow milk proteins. These proteins are smaller. They are easier for the human body to digest. They cause far less gut irritation. Camel milk also contains natural compounds that protect the gut lining directly. Scientists have found that camel milk has anti-inflammatory properties that are remarkably strong. Now combine all of that with the fermentation process, and you get something truly powerful. A drink that feeds the gut with beneficial bacteria, protects the gut lining from damage, reduces gut inflammation, is easy to digest even for sensitive stomachs. The Nomads did not know the science behind it, but their bodies knew, and generation after generation, they passed this drink down because they could see it worked. Why it matters, let us pause for a moment, because to truly understand why this drink was so powerful, you need to understand something about your gut. Inside your body, right now, you have a gut lining. It is a thin layer of cells that runs the entire length of your intestines. This lining has one very important job. It decides what gets into your blood and what does not. Think of it like a very smart security wall. Good nutrients pass through. Harmful particles are blocked. But when this lining is damaged, that security wall breaks down, gaps appear, and things that should never enter your blood start leaking through. This is what scientists call leaky gut, and it is connected to some of the most common health problems of modern life. Bloating, fatigue, inflammation, skin problems, food sensitivities, even mood disorders, all connected, in part to a damaged gut lining. Now here's the critical point. The fermented camel whey drink that Nomads consume daily directly supports and protects this gut lining. The beneficial bacteria coat the intestinal wall. The natural proteins in camel milk help repair damaged gut cells. The anti-inflammatory compounds reduce the irritation that causes gut lining damage in the first place. Every single day, these Nomads were protecting their gut lining without even knowing what a gut lining was. This is ancient gut science, and it worked. Why modern people lost this now comes the part of this story that should make you think. We live in the most advanced time in human history. We have science, we have medicine, we have supplements, and yet gut disease is one of the fastest growing health problems in the modern world. Millions of people suffer from chronic digestive issues every single day. So what happened? The answer is simple. We moved away from fermented foods. We replaced living, bacteria-rich drinks with processed, sterile, sugar-loaded beverages. We replaced natural gut protection with fast food, antibiotics, and highly processed ingredients that damage the gut lining every single day. The Nomads had none of that. Their entire diet was built around simple, natural, living foods. Fermented drinks were not a health trend for them. They were just life. They drank fermented camel milk because it was what they had, and what they had happened to be exactly what the human gut needs. There is a lesson in that. The gut has not changed. The human digestive system today is the same as it was thousands of years ago. It still needs the same things it always needed. Beneficial bacteria, simple natural food, protection from constant chemical assault. The Nomads gave their gut all of that, every single day, from one simple fermented drink. What science says today, this is not just ancient history. Modern scientists have actually studied fermented camel milk extensively. Research published in nutrition and microbiology journals has confirmed that fermented camel milk contains a rich diversity of beneficial bacterial strains. Studies have found that it contains powerful anti-inflammatory compounds that specifically target gut inflammation. Research has shown that the proteins in camel milk are uniquely structured to be gentle on the human digestive system, making it suitable even for people who cannot tolerate regular dairy. Some researchers studying nomadic communities in Africa and the Middle East have noted remarkably low rates of certain gut-related diseases compared to urbanized populations eating modern diets. One study noted that communities still consuming traditional fermented camel milk showed stronger gut microbiome diversity than those who had switched to modern processed diets. Microbiome diversity, by the way, is now considered one of the most important markers of overall gut health. The more diverse your gut bacteria, the stronger your immune system, the better your digestion, the lower your inflammation. The Nomads had extraordinary microbiome diversity, not by design, but by daily habit, by drinking what their ancestors taught them to drink. Here is what I want you to take from this story. The Nomads did not have a gut health coach. They did not follow a wellness program. They did not buy expensive probiotic supplements. They just lived close to nature. They ate and drank what the natural world provided. And the natural world, it turns out, provides exactly what the gut needs. Fermented drinks are not a new invention. They are ancient technology. Every traditional culture on Earth had its own version. The Nomads had fermented camel milk. Other ancient cultures had fermented grain drinks. Some had fermented fruit waters. Some had fermented whey from sheep or goat milk. The specific drink was different, but the principle was the same everywhere. Fermented living drinks, consumed daily, kept the gut healthy and strong. Modern life removed these drinks from our daily routine, and our gut health collapsed along with them. This is not a coincidence. This is cause and effect. Somewhere in a desert right now, there may still be nomadic families living simply, moving with their camels, drinking their ancient fermented drink, and their guts are probably healthier than most people sitting in modern cities surrounded by every comfort and convenience imaginable. That is a powerful thought. The answer to one of the modern world's biggest health problems was already solved thousands of years ago by people walking barefoot through the sand, carrying their medicine in an animal skin bag hanging from a camel. Ancient wisdom does not always look impressive. Sometimes it looks like a sour drink in a goat skin pouch. But sometimes that is exactly what your gut has been waiting for. If this story made you think differently about gut health, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because some of the best health knowledge in the world is not in a pharmacy, it is in history.